I worked in the Yellowstone universe a lot of times. I was a PA on Yellowstone, 1883, Tulsa King, and I just kind of met the right people. And I told them one person a story I had, and like, you know who would really be interested in this? Jefferson White from Yellowstone. Like, I'm like, really? He would love to do this? I'm like, well, I don't know about that, but he'd definitely be open to reading it. So I sent the script to Jefferson. He loved it, which I couldn't be happier about. And it kind of got this domino effect. And so like in my mind, I was like, you know who you would be perfect as your dad? And when me and Jefferson started talking with each other, Neal McDonough. He was like, you know, Neal McDonough was on Yellowstone. Like, yeah, I know that, but he wouldn't want to. And like Jefferson's like, no, he would. And so he sent the script to
Wow.
Neal.
Welcome to the Filmmaker Mixer podcast, the podcast by filmmakers for filmmakers. My name is Andrew, and I'm joined alongside my co-host Jeff, as always. Jeff and I are writers and directors and passionate about the art of storytelling. Filmmaker Mixer is a creative hub where aspiring and established filmmakers come together to share experiences, insights, strategies, and inspiration.
Hello, everybody. This is the Filmmaker Mixer podcast, and today we are talking with Austin Glasser about his new film, The Writer, which ironically premiered at the Writers Film Festival, the Austin Film Festival. So, Austin, welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be on.
So, it's Austin Glasser, and you premiered at the Austin Film Festival, which is a
Correct.
writers festival, and your script or your short film is about a writer. This is starting to sound like a Who's on First routine. I don't know.
Yes.
This is very complex.
Yes. It's kind of full circle, back and forth kind of situation.
Yeah. Give us the pitch. What's your film about?
Well, the film is about a screenplay writer who has an opportunity to finally get his uh, funny enough, a short film that he wrote into to become a feature. But he kind of gets boggled down on the pressures of the industry and what he wants to do in life, family, and business, and the dream of all of it. With that also happening, he's being haunted by the presence of his dead father. With the industry, his father just a man who's just on the brink of breaking down. And this is basically just a story of how our dreams and ambitions can be kind of mixed, and we kind of lose our way sometimes.
So, what's your background? How did you get interested in filmmaking and storytelling?
I grew up around it. I'm like a fourth generation in the industry. My father is in the industry. My great grandfather, my uncle, my great grandfather kind of all had a hand in a different form of the industry. And I just kind of always been very interested with film and television. And so it's just kind of something I've always wanted to be a part of. And so I'm now trying to build my way into the industry and kind of leave my mark as best as I can.
And you said we were talking before the show started recording. You said you're in Fort Worth, right?
Yes, I'm working and currently living out in Fort Worth, Texas.
And is that where you're from originally, or?
No, I'm originally from California, kind of in the Van Nuys area. So
Gotcha.
work and careers kind of brought me out towards Texas, and right now it seems like everything's kind of growing in Texas. So
It's a
best
lot.
it's
There's a
best to kind of jump on the bagwagon and just kind of be part of all that, just
Yeah.
deal with everyone out here.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. And so you shot in Texas as well, right? Where did you shoot?
Correct. We filmed out in Weatherford, Texas. I worked a lot out here as a PA during my time, and I got to know one of the owners who we were kind of filming on one of the properties during the time, and I saw this old cabin on the property, and I was like, and me and him had a good relationship, and he allowed us to kind of work on the cabin and just use it as our location, and that's kind of where it started.
Well, was this an actual cabin or was this cabin built for a set? Because the film
No,
looks great.
yes. So it was a cabin that was built for another show that the
Gotcha.
property owner just kept on the property. It was a little worn down, so we had to fix it up a little, but also kind of break it down a little as well as in the film. It's kind of a old rustic kind of looking cabin. So he was more than willing to let me use it, and that's kind of where it all kind of started.
So were you able to move walls and things like that? Did it have like flyaway walls in the cabin? Was it built like that
Not
or?
specifically. It was more an actual cabin that was just built to be able to film in a certain way.
Gotcha.
So well, we did have one wall. The cabinet was actually much bigger than what we needed. So we added one fake wall kind of where our writer's desk is kind of set up so we can kind of get that POV of him constantly working on his desk and his projects during that time. So there was
Gotcha.
one fake wall, but that was something that we brought into the building.
Gotcha. And how did you get your cast? You've got a fantastic cast. I mean, it's a lot of names and there are a lot of recognizable faces. How did you pull that off?
Honestly, it was kind of a lucky experience. Like I said, I worked in the Yellowstone universe a lot of times. I was a PI in Yellowstone, 1883, Tulsa King, and I just kind of met the right people. And I told them one person a story I had, and like, you know who would really be interested in this? Jefferson White from Yellowstone. Like, I'm like, really? He would love to do this? I'm like, well, I don't know about that, but he'd definitely be open to reading it. So I sent the script to Jefferson. He loved it, which I couldn't be happier about. And it kind of got this domino effect. And so like in my mind, I was like, you know who you would be perfect as your dad? And when me and Jefferson started talking with each other, Neal McDonough. He was like, you know, Neal McDonough was on Yellowstone. Like, yeah, I know that, but he wouldn't want to. And like Jefferson's like, no, he would. And so he sent the script to
Wow.
Neal. So and like luckily Neil also he lives in California as well. So me and him got to actually meet and talk for a little while when I got back to California. And then it kind of just got into this domino effect of everyone else. Then I got into contact with with a casting director and just kind of all grew from there. But I couldn't have been happier with the cast that we got. It was amazing.
That is amazing. So people just got excited about the script. Well, it's a testament to good writing. People want to get involved with good writing. So good for you. That's awesome.
I'm very lucky with the people that came on to this project and helped me on this way. Again, this was kind of a first time project, first time writing, first time directing. So I wasn't sure if like in my mind this was a good story, but obviously when the cast read it, they loved it to join the project right away.
So I'm curious, and this would be a question that I think would help some of our younger filmmakers who are coming up, who are listening to the show. So once you had this, I mean, you're wanting to make your short. I'm
Mhm.
sure you were probably trying to do something on a budget. You're probably lean and trying to get in there and do something tight and quick. But then you get this cast involved. And
So yes,
how did
that
that change things?
so originally I was gonna make this a bare minimum budget. This was gonna be who's who, whatever local talent we could get around the area in Weatherford or Fort Worth, kind of Dallas kind of area, close enough for people to make it. Um, but then once we got this cast, I realized, okay, I need to take this a little bit more seriously. I need to throw a little bit more at this and and I had some money with various jobs, PAs positions I did throughout the years, and I got a little help from friends and family who threw a little bit towards my way, and I kind of got what we needed to make sure that our cast was comfortable, but also to make sure that we got the chance to shoot the best version of this story that we could.
And what about coordinating actors' schedules? Was that difficult or?
I mean, weirdly enough, are all like specifically Jefferson and Neil's schedules were almost like perfectly aligned. It was just Neil needed to leave a day earlier than we needed to. So we tried to shoot. It was only a 5 day shoot, so we got him for 4 days. So we shot most of all of his scenes that we could with him. Luckily, most of our scenes are with him majority of the time, so we could shoot it chronologically all the way through until we got near the end. We had to shoot that first because Neil had to leave earlier than our schedule has, but it still worked out. So, and normally you don't even get a chance to shoot it in the order that the story goes. A lot of times you're nitpicking of where and when you're going to be. Luckily, we were one location interior and we just had to get one actor out earlier than the rest. So, luckily it was just kind of luck.
And did Did anything change in the script, in the writing, once you saw the actors that were involved? Did you tweak anything based on the actor or?
There was always a little bit of tweaking all the way through. I think I made like one last change in the dialogue, like near like a week before we started shooting, just because I felt like a certain moment, like our big kind of climactic kind of portion would like needed a little more like a good like closer and a way to kind of reach the audience in a way that kind of reach the heart. And of course, our actors, I'm always kind of willing to let them kind of find their way around it. Sometimes they might think there's a different way of approaching this way, and or a different way the character would say this. Especially Neal, he was very open to like improving a lot of his lines and kind of coming up with things on the spot. And I couldn't be happier with how he approached it.
And I'm curious about oh my cat is in here exploring my book collection, so we may hear whoa.
Uh,
Come here, Jabber. Come here, buddy. He's in a mood tonight. Um,
okay.
if you hear a loud bang, you'll know why. Um, oh, there you go. Um, so I've got another question. So once you started working with the cast and working with the actors, did you have the luxury of any type of rehearsal time? I guess with a cast like that, you probably don't need it.
Well, yes, normally you don't. Luckily, we got them in like the day before, again, with their schedules and all that. We literally had them, most people got in like a day before or 2 days before. Luckily, we got this kind of, we did a little lunch in with the cast so everyone can meet because again, everyone's basically they're supposed to be playing a family members except for the agent who, but again, these are all people that need to know each other. And so we had lunch, and luckily where we were staying during the time was very close to the property. So we ended up taking them to the cabin just to get a feel of where it was. And we got to like rehearse a little bit of the placement and the dialogue with our actors. So we did have some rehearsal period, but it was only a like an hour that we had the day before we started shooting.
And did you say this was your first short or?
Yes, this
Okay.
was my first short, first time directing, first time writing. This was kind of my first time experience with anything. And like I said, I wasn't even planning on having a cast like this for my first time. It was just a kind of a random of luck that kind of got together. And like again, I couldn't be happier with this. It was just an honor and just nothing but fun with how this.
Yeah, I mean, talk about knocking it out of the talk about knocking it out of the park on your first short. You get a dream cast. You get to premiere at Austin Film Festival. I'm curious, as your first project, is there anything you would definitely do again on the next project, and anything you would definitely not do?
With every project that you do, there's always a learning experience, no matter good or bad. I mean, I think something I learned I should be a little more confident in how I'm need to express or like view on an idea I have. Sometimes it was kind of hard to approach these actors or just even talk to my DP because like this is my first time. I don't want to be messing with the process and kind of screw up how they're trying to get to. But again, with this great cast, it was like they understood the characters, so it's like I was always worried, like, are they gonna understand how this character is supposed to express himself, how they're gonna be? But again, they understood it even better than I did sometimes, and they were able to approach it in a way that I didn't even expect it sometimes. So for something I was gonna, something I would do again is probably be a little more confident in myself and trying to tell my cast what they need to do and not to do. And then something I would probably wouldn't do is be a little more stricter on saying yes to what I needed and not didn't need for the film because again, I self-financed this project, so it was kind of hard. So I was basically being the producer, the director, the writer, and so I was also the financer. So a lot of times when you're doing films, you get a little bit of feedback and restrictions on certain things, and unfortunately, that all relied on me. So I'm the one who has to tell myself no at certain points. So I
You have to put on your producer hat
I literally had to like put on a hat, look in a mirror, and like, okay, Austin, you can't do this, you can't do that, or if you want this, you're gonna have to give up this. Um, so it's just if you're the one who's has to be fully responsible for everything, you kind of have to be a little more constricted on what you want because then if not, you're going to be saying yes to almost everything, and sometimes that can honestly ruin something because I feel like sometimes when you have the restrictions, it leaves you open to find a new, even better situation for the film that you're trying to express.
Right. No, I get it. I think there's advantages to uh, in there's advantages to bringing in new ideas that they're always going to help, but at some point you do have to try to pick the best solution for any given part of the film because at the end of the day, you got to make the film you got to make, you know,
Exactly.
and it can be tricky. It can be tricky. So once you had the film completed and you got into Austin Film Festival, how did you prepare for the festival for, I mean, in terms of promoting the film, trying to get awareness for the film? Did you have any special strategies? Just, you know, finding the publicist, all those kinds of things.
Yeah, we got a PR team that helped us kind of reach out there to various departments and programs out in Austin, and we kind of tried to get the word out as much as possible, sending out links and kind of just letting everyone know where we're going, and just kind of and with luckily with our cast, they kind of helped spread the word as well. So it's just kind of getting as many ears to hear us and kind of know that we're coming kind of way. So it's just kind of talking until people tell us to shut up.
Well, also a lot of times when filmmakers are developing a short film, they're using that as a calling card to take that idea and expand it into a feature. Have you done that? Have you thought about that? Or was this strictly just going to be a short?
I have thought about it, and if the opportunity came, I wouldn't be against it. Again, I feel like I expressed this story in the best way that it could have been. So personally, I would like to go to the next project after that.
Right.
I want to retell a story again. I mean, there's definitely plenty of elements if I had more reach and less restrictions than I did for my first film. There's definitely some parts of the story that I could expand on, add a little bit more context here and there. So again, I would like to go to the next one, but if the opportunity came, I wouldn't say no.
And what kind of stories do you like to tell? What are you drawn to?
I mean, for me, it's stories that kind of resonate with the audience, something that with human elements that kind of we can all connect to in some ways. Hence this short. It just I want the right stories that are human and that people can kind of understand and collect to. But for like, I would be open to dramas, horrors, comedies, like something that just kind of resonates with all of us that we can in a way that the story makes sense, but it's something that we could all love at the same time.
Right, right, right. Well, what are you up to next?
For right now, just kind of circulating the writer, getting it out there to other festivals and trying to see and connecting with others to see what the next project is right now. I've had a little bits here and there for potential features, but those are still far in the distance, but there's some potentials out there. And right now, I'm working on other stories. I'm helping others kind of with their stories to maybe potential direct those as well. So it's just kind of it's open to everything, you know. Just I'm looking for the next project, and if it resonates with me, I'm gonna grab it and show everyone what the story could be.
So before we wrap up, how can people follow your career, track what you're up to? Are you a social media person? How can they find out more about you and your projects?
I mean, personally, I'm not a social media person, but I'm slowly now building one. So people will be a little surprised, like this guy doesn't have many friends. But it's just because I've just started getting on the socials again. But for currently for our short, we have a a website, and most of our socials are on the various platforms. Our social for is called the Film, or the Writer Film, which is on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, on all those various platforms. And for myself, you can easily find mine on as just Austin Glasser. Luckily, I was able to just get my name on there easily, and no one else took it. Um, but we're really just getting our foot out there right now. So we'll be slowly building a social platform out there and kind of expanding more and more as we go on.
Awesome. And it looks like you're in a production trailer. Are you on set currently?
Yes, currently I am on a set right now. As I work as a film, trying to be a writer and director, I also work as a production associate on various shows, specifically out in here in Texas. Hence me living in Fort Worth now.
Awesome.
We, so I'm currently out here in Texas, kind of building a platform out here with you guys.
It's a lot going on here. A lot going
There's a
on right
lot
now.
going on.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, Austin, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. Don't hang up. I want to chat just for a
Of
little bit.
course.
But yeah, I enjoyed the film. Best of luck with that and future projects. And let's talk again soon.
Thank you.
All right, man. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Filmmaker Mixer podcast, a podcast created and hosted by filmmakers Jeff Stolen and Andrew Lamping, and produced by Melody Lopez.
Our theme song was composed by Stephen D. Bennett.
Make sure to follow or subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to us on, and stay tuned for future episodes.